opportunity to actually talk to you and then to see how the whole thing will be managed. First of all, I have seen the way the CNC feels. I'm not supposed to actually come to talk to you. I must confess this to you. And I know his response. Well, you know him very well. And he's a very kind-hearted person. Once he knows an issue and he has the in-depth of the issue, that's why, sir. The issue of whether I am junior or something, I want you to drop that aside. So please, sir. That's why I actually have taken this script. I didn't tell no one. But what I want, sir, is that if there are things you can tell me, because since the issue has reached where it has reached, what matters is whatever one can do to assist it is all that matters. So, sir, forget about variation in terms of age. Feel free, sir. Feel free, sir. Yes, sir.
Along the line, I don't know what went wrong. The head of state does not consult me in so many things thereafter. Like, okay, let me just use the latest happenings.
Right.
Like the dissolution of the cabinet.
Yes, sir.
He did not mention it to me. Like, I have it on the radio, on the television, like any other person. The embarrassment, the pain that I go through. You see, when you are not somewhere, it's okay.
Yes, sir.
But when you are somewhere and people are asking you questions, how many times are you going to lie? Okay, before then, I myself, I have gone to the CNC. I've asked him, I said, look, sir, this transition, what are we? Because we don't talk. And by not talking, you don't even make me know what to do, what to say. You know, there's a 75 view. So I told him my views first, sir. This is purpose of continuity and this and that, honestly, should continue. But I said should be certain things. One, the issue of constitution. I said we should promulgate it. By promulgating it, we win all Nigerians to our side. But when the issue of coup or no coup, to be honestly, I don't have an idea about that. Now, this Saturday, I want to tell you now confidence. Somebody phoned me, you see, and said that they are planning a coup, and that the list of those who are planning the coup are already with you, and that there is a speech which is prepared that I was going to read. I was shocked. I said, if that time I was with the CNC till 8 o'clock that Friday, not that was mentioned, but I became scared. I'm telling you the truth, I became fidgety, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know, the last time I came here, I begged you.
Yes, sir.
Not to go further with this investigation. Let us treat this matter as a family problem. I have made a mistake in that when this idea of wanting to force the head of state to resign was mentioned, I fell into it. You see, and I have begged, I told you the reasons why, you know, God created the gap between me and him. In the last 9 months, I told Oga himself, he was not consulting me on anything. This vision 2010 that was constituted, I did not know anything about it. All the names there, I did not have one single name. All this, the dissolution of cabinet, I was not consulted. When the cabinet was reconstituted, I was not consulted. When these ambassadors were appointed, I was not consulted. Even the electoral officers that we sat down in my house to compile, by the time it came out, I was not consulted. People have come in. Guazo, Shikola, all these people have come in between me and Monga. So when this idea of Bama is talking of forcing the CNC to resign and all this thing, you know, I mean, I don't know where I belong. All I did was to ask Olariwaju to come, and I mentioned it to him that look, this is the thing. And Olariwaju even cautioned. He said I should give him time to go and find out. And when he came back and he told me that yes, he had found out and he spoke to, I don't know whether he spoke to Aziza, but I think he spoke to Aziza, and Aziza confirmed, that yes. That was the time I gave full support. All I was cautioning, if you listen to this tip you are talking about, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup. All these things I was saying. You see, the mistake I made is the gap that Oga creates between me and him. But all I'm begging and praying for is that these people involved are too close to Oga for any world exposure. When you talk of Ashimagaji, you talk of Baba, you talk of Abisa, you talk of Olariwaju, they are Oga's children, including me. You see, so I am begging you in the name of God, Mustafa, you are the only person who can do this thing. Make this thing an in-house thing. Let everybody come and prostrate before Oga and apologize. A mistake has been made. The reason for my own, I have told you. Please, I'm begging you in the name of God. Okay, like all these speeches you are talking about now, there is none there that is mine. Like the speech Bamagashi told it came from Lagos. It was sent by Olariwaju, by one Major Akali, but Akali does not know anything about it to peace because it was sealed. It was sealed. You see, people involved are too close. We have made mistake. This mistake should not end everything that Oga has done for all of us. He built all of us. I was to retire as a commandant war college. He was the one who, everything, you know what you have gone through. You know what this thing can bring now, the shame it will bring onto me, the shame it will bring even onto the system. Even forgot to ask me to go to retire today now, I will cry. Because I want to complete this transition program with him. And it's not too late. Mustafa, you are the only one who can do it. You are the only one that can do it. Let me stop all this investigation, please. Get these people to let them come and prostrate before Oga and talk to Oga and beg him. And what I've gone through in the last 12 days now, I have never gone through it in my life. To be incarcerated.
Announcing the verdict today, at the end of its sittings, Chairman of the Tribunal, Major General Victor Malu, said that 15 persons out of a total of 30 tried were found guilty as charged. 14 were found not guilty, while one was convicted for a lesser offense than the original charge. Lieutenant General Oladipo Diya is amongst the 13 persons charged for treason and conspiracy to commit treason. He was found guilty on both counts.
General Diya, Major General A.T. Olariwaju, Major General A.K. Adisa, Lieutenant Colonel O. Akinyode, Major O. Fadipe, Major B.M. Mohammed, W.2 Koka Oladisun, Corporal I. Kontagora, Corporal Edi Egbunu, Engineer A. Banjo, Mr. Owati Main Abimbola, Mrs. Shola Shoele, and Professor Femi Odekunle. Lieutenant General D.O. Diya, Charge 1, treason, finding guilty. Charge 2, conspiracy to commit treason, finding guilty. Major General.
The coup of 1997 more as a plan to remove the Yoruba officers from the army.
I didn't say that specifically. I said those who were sentenced to death, yes, were mainly Yoruba officers. And I found it difficult to understand how officers who are not in command of troops can affect the demand of a coup.
Before you went to the issue of sentencing, you spoke about the statement of Colonel Omrenka to you.
Yes.
Was that before or after the sentence?
No, before the sentence. I was under the illusion that Bamai, Aziza, Mugashi, Idi Musa, they were all under arrest.
So as of...
It was on the 8th of January that I knew that there was nothing like 4-point demand. There was nothing like coup. It was a hoax. It was an arranged coup just to eliminate me from the system. That's all.
And it was at that time you realized that most of those arrested were Yoruba officers.
Yes.
Thank you. And you, at that stage, believe that it was a setup to eliminate most Yoruba officers.
What else will you call it?
No.
Yes.
I'm not fighting with you, sir.
Address is different from question.
No. I know what I'm leading to, sir.
The statements you made are not what we have in our record.
My lord, in the military system, we respect seniority and hierarchy. If, as the current chief of army staff, I come to stand before you here and say that a brigade commander prompted me to overthrow the government, I think I'll look the most stupid person. It should be the other way around. If you are number 2 man in the government, as far as I'm concerned, Isha Abame was not being number 4 or 5. Patrick Aziza is even my junior. Magashi is my junior. For anybody who is number 2 in the government to come before this type of tribunal, we are trying to heal wounds and make such a statement. I think the statement of a struggling man. I'll just leave it at that.
A lot has been said about the attempted coup of 1997 led by the then Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Oladipo Diya. Some have called it a phantom coup, while others have insinuated that it was a setup to eliminate officers from a particular section of the country. In this episode, we'll be listening to the testimony of one of the key players in the plot, Major Philip Fadipe. Major Fadipe was the Chief Security Officer to General Oladipo Diya and also an active participant in the planning of the failed coup. In his cross-examination, he gives a vivid account of his role in the coup. In 1998, he was tried alongside his boss and others and found guilty of treason and conspiracy to commit treason in the General Samuel Victor Malu Tribunal. He was sentenced to death but later pardoned and released from prison after the death of General Sani Abacha. He is being cross-examined by Mr. Kupolati, a senior advocate of Nigeria and counsel to General Oladipo Diya. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel if you enjoy our content.
That was far from the truth. There is no doubt about it. Major Mustafa is my godfather. We've been together since 1981 when I joined the Nigerian Defense Academy.
This is an aside.
No, sir.
Muslims have godfather and godmother.
No, it's just typical. It's typical that
My Lord, I think the witness should be patient. Don't jump the gun.
Just wait, sir.
Listen.
What is
you because
being recorded?
Everything is
make
something
recorded
first.
So, this is not a court scene. So we allow anything to go in. Go on.
Sir, it does happen that in 1993, when General Diya was appointed Chief of Defense Staff, that was the time I was posted to him as a security officer, not by anybody, but by his military assistant, Colonel Shoda. Is alive today. He called me that he knew I am not in the intelligence corps, and his boss needed a security officer. Would I want to work with him? I said, well, it's a military posting. And he called me for interview, and everything was carried on. Before then, I do visit Major Mustafa. Like I said, we've been together since '81. I knew him through another lieutenant colonel. So I went to his house after the interview and all. Then he asked me, he said, when are you reporting? I said, to where? He said, don't you think I know? I said, to your new boss, of course. He said, the man told him. I said, what did he tell you? He said, General Diya came to him and asked that somebody has been posted to him as a security officer. that what does he feel about him? And Mustafa said, he said, if it's Captain Fadipe, you can go to sleep. That was the reply of Mustafa to General Diya. So I was shocked and baffled. When I got to the office, I called Colonel Shoda. I said, look, how will Oga go to a captain to find out if I'm competent to work for him? Then he just said I should overlook that. So I was surprised now when he is now saying that it was Major Mustafa that posted me to him. That was unfortunate. So we can carry on now.
Now, have you ever been under the training or command of Major Mustafa?
There is no way I would have been under the training of Major Mustafa. Major Mustafa is 28th course in academy. I am 30th course. So it's just one step. So there is no way we would have said, oh, there was a time I was under. We attended staff college together. So the issue of whether I worked, I was a student does not come in.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself. What I am asking you is very simple. Major Mustafa is your godfather.
Well, if you like to say so, he's my godfather.
If he likes to say so.
If you elect to say so, he's my godfather.
Okay, you are his godson.
Yes, because he's senior to me in the army.
That's why he's your godson.
Yes, and even General Diya too has a lot of godsons in the army. So?
Now, what do you understand by the expression godson in the military context?
Look, I have told you, even you might be older than the person, even in age, but once he seniors you in military rank, he becomes your godson. He becomes your subordinate. So there is no other terminology to it than senior to junior relationship. That is what we know in the army. And that's why I said, like the last time I gave evidence, I call Mormoni my godson. Because he was far junior. In fact, he did not even meet me in NDA.
So who posted you as a CSO to General Diya? Yes. State clearly. Who posted you?
Because that... You answered it. Repeat the answer. You answered it before. So repeat the answer.
No, he said posting now.
Who appointed who?
He said posting. If you say posting...
Who posted you?
It was the the Directorate of Military Intelligence that posted me. But it was Colonel Shoda that appointed me. Because it was a personal appointment. Personal appointment, not a staff officer appointment. So it was after they were clear that I can work with them, it was the office that sent my name to my headquarters for me to be posted to them. If you go into the record of defense headquarters, you will find it there today.
Now, you remember 13th of December, 97?
Very well.
Can you explain the event of that day?
Well, there was a bomb blast.
Now, on the 12th of December 1997, you approached General Diya and took leave not to accompany him to Makodi. On the grounds, wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
On the grounds that you wanted to do the anniversary of your wedding and a naming ceremony. Is that true?
Sir, if you don't know, I don't want you to talk out of ignorance.
Please, with all that
no, sir, wait.
Hello.
Look, sir, you
said
you...
Fadipe, please, control yourself. I'm not here to be insulted.
You asked me a question, I want to answer you.
Yes, if you ask a question, wait for his answer.
Yes, I will wait. My Lord, what I object to is the use of the expression ignorance. Let him answer his question. I am asking a question. He is to answer, not to say that I am ignorant. He should state the facts. It's very simple.
Look, if
I
you
object, and I
my
want you
lord,
to withdraw your expression.
My lord,
Go
I
to the
don't
answer.
I don't see anything wrong in that expression. I am not a lawyer.
It is wrong. I'm saying it is wrong.
I'm coming, sir. Once I said ignorance, because if you are not ignorant of
Go
that
to
question,
the facts,
you
my
will not
friend.
answer that, because there is no basis in it. Because if
You have seen
Diya,
how a
I
senior
am
officer
coming now.
conducted himself.
Yes, because you see, I'm answering you the way the question comes. If Diya sits down here today and he looks at me straight into my face, he cannot tell me that
Why?
I approached him on the 12th to not be there. If you want to know the genesis of what happened, I will tell you now.
Oh yeah, say it, please. Say it.
Then no problem.
We want to know
That is
the
why
truth.
that is why I said,
Say it.
look,
Please talk, Major Fadipe.
it was not even on the 12th. We were supposed to attend the burial of
I will not take
General Onoja's mother.
Yes?
Now, as at that time, I got to know about this coup matter on the 9th of December. I have given that in evidence, except you want me to go over it again. Now, and that is why I'm so sad today, because I will not sit down on my own and said I want to carry out a coup. Impossible. But it was this same man that I've worked for all my life without
Please,
looking.
go
I
to
am
the-
no. That is the best way I can answer my question. I am sorry. That is the
Don't tell
best
us
way I
philosophy.
can.
Hold it. Whom are you referring to as this man?
Don't tell us philosophy.
Okay.
Whom are
General
you
Diya.
referring to as this man?
General Diya.
Oh, call him General Diya.
General Diya, that I worked for all my life without looking left and right, approached me about this coup matter, and he was so direct. He said,
I have not asked you a question.
no,
on
that is the best way I can answer the
Okay,
question. My lord, if you want me to
Ask about
cooperate,
the sequence of events,
My lord.
and he's giving you the sequence.
My lord, I
Please
think...
silence. Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
My lord, the evidence of Major Fadipe goes beyond Diya's interest. My learned friend should understand that this is not a court of law, a normal court of law. His evidence is of interest to Nigeria and Nigerians. We're here to get facts from this young man. Please do not stop him from telling us the truth.
my lord, sir, my lord, if you want me to cooperate with you, allow me to answer the questions the best way.
If you lie, don't cooperate.
I am saying something. I have been sentenced to death for this kind of treatment. I was humiliated for over 15 months.
You are not
So
the
it's
only one.
not the matter of legality now. We are talking of truth.
Oh, yeah, tell the truth.
Now, General Diya told me that he was telling me about the coup. He was not asking for my opinion because he will be sending me to Ishaya. That was the way he put it.
Please, I'm asking you about 13th.
Wait now. I am taking my time.
You will have to insist.
To
Let
ask a
him
question.
answer the question. You asked him about
I
sequence
am
of
laying,
events.
I am laying a platform for that.
Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
Cancel.
Please silence. Please silence. Silence, please.
You see, my lord, you are making...
Hold on. Fadipe, please. Cancel. You remember sometime last Friday, before you commenced addressing the commission, you did make the point, and rightly too, that this being a fact-finding commission, you are willing to cooperate so that we all hear the truth. I don't think this witness is doing anything more than that. You've asked him to give us sequence of events. We too will want to see the whole story as it were. Please allow him to state his story the way he considers it fit. Please.
So he said he was telling me specifically so that he would be sending me to Ishaya. From that moment, like I gave evidence.
No.
That I was putting it the way General Diya put it. Okay. That was General Bameyi. He said, so I became disturbed and disorientated. Now, what next to do? Meanwhile, he was not actually even telling me, even and General Adisa, the whole plans between himself and General Bameyi. We never knew that they had agreed to sprang the coup on the 13th. It was that morning on the 13th that General Diya himself called me and said, look, don't go with me. Go back to Adisa, tell him to get in touch with Ishaya, that I don't like that date, 13th again. And I asked him a question. I said, sir, what do you mean? He said, you said you want me to talk with the whole of my mouth? So I said, okay, sir, but I still have to see you off to the airport. He said, okay, that's all right. And we put everything in place. But something happened that day. The plane was supposed to be positioned by 8 o'clock. The plane was not there. So I became worried. And if you know my former boss, when it comes to working, I mean, it is hell. I had no peace that time because he expected that it should have been. One thing about him is that he hates going to a function late. And he wants to warn you, make sure these things are properly put in place. Which I appreciated very well. And I was going up and down to see what was going on. My boys there were calling me that there was a plane there, but there was no pilot. Then after a long time, well, they told us that the plane is now positioned. And I told him, and we left. And before we now got into the airport, then the bomb exploded. I was the one that whisked him away from that place. I was the same person that picked the boy that was not dead to go like that special hospital. I was the one that took my own personal money to make sure that nothing happens to that boy until we hear from him. If I know anything about that, will I go to that extent? That's why I said, don't talk out of ignorance. So that is it.
Now, on that 13th.
Yes, my lord.
When you go to the airport.
Yes, my lord.
You met some notable personalities.
Yes.
Who are not military officers, like Alao Arishekola at the airport.
Yes, I've said that times with that number. He was there. A lot of people were there. They were traveling to another place.
And it was Arishekola who told you, go and identify the boys.
No. What Arishekola said is this. I am still going to say this. I have taken oath on the Bible. I am a child of God. General Diya too can testify to it. All the members of his family can testify to this. There is no way I will lie against General Diya. It is not possible. Now, what Alhaji Arishekola said was this. He was the same person that ran to me. He said, Sheun, make sure that you get those boys. So he spoke to me in Yoruba. Make sure that you get those boys so that we know what was going on. Because one of them was still alive. And as at that time, one of my boys had already gone to the place to verify who were the boys that were involved in the bomb blast. So that was what Arishekola said.
Now, after the incident, or before then, General Diya had warned you, and sometimes when he heard that you got some money from Arishekola, that you should desist.
My lord,
Is that true?
Far from the truth.
All
I
right.
wish General Diya is seated here today. And that's why I said a lot of us junior officers are still working for senior officers there, both in the civil life and the military life.
Okay.
I am coming, sir. If it's the way they will treat their subordinate, I don't think this Nigeria will move forward.
Now, did you personally, in your capacity as CSO to Chief of General Staff at that time, brief Major Mustafa after the bomb explosion?
Look, I was furious. I never briefed him.
Throughout?
The only time I wanted to talk to him was on the 17th of December. And you know why? If you want to, let me tell you why. We have discovered that something was wrong with that coup plan. This same general decided that everybody is crying up now. Somebody called him and said, look, you people are up to something. And it's like the head of state is aware. You have to do everything possible to stop it, or you get out of that plan. General Diya called me, and we all went to I went to General Diya, and I told him, sir, this is the situation on the ground now. He said no. He called somebody, and after a while, he now reassured me that all is well. You know, after about 3 attempts, I said, no, I don't need to go down with this man since he does not want to listen to me. I made up my mind that night to go to Major Mustafa to let him know of what was going on. But when I got into the villa, something came upon me. And that's why if you are being led by the Spirit of God, you will never make mistake. I approached Major Mustafa. I wanted to talk to him. That time he said no. And I changed the topic. He's here on the 17th of December. And I left the villa. I met himself and Mohammed Abacha. And I left. So I never briefed him on the bomb blast. Although he was telling me that, Fadipe, I am disappointed in you. Something happened to you for about 1 week, about 3-4 days now. You never had something to come to me. I said, well, I am not interested. And I left. So I never briefed him about the bomb blast, and I never briefed him about the coup.
So
I thank God I never did.
If you are done.
So what would have happened now? Because if I had told him, they would say, okay, Fadipe, play along. How will I face now? What will be my situation now? But I thank God. You know what? I thank God that I passed through this ordeal with General Diya, even more than what he passed through. You understand? My family, what they passed through. My children, what they passed through. My brothers, what they passed through. And I'm happy for that.
Major Fadipe, let me ask again. You didn't know that the pilot of that plane had been changed overnight?
Why would I know? Because as at 6 a.m. that morning, that is the trend. The man called me, said, oh boy, are you people still going? I said, okay, if we are not going, I will tell you. Now, because he was the wing commander. So as at 6 a.m. that morning, the man still called me. The ADC to General Diya is alive today.
Now, when you learned that the 2 boys who were involved were boys attached to Major Mustafa, what was your reaction? What step did you take?
You see, that's why I said, if General Diya had been here.
Just talk.
No, I'm coming.
He not be here. He's watching you now.
He's watching me. Yes. I just thank God that he's watching me. Now, I told him, I said, because he insisted, I said, look, we have to go. I said, sir, you cannot go. I said, you cannot go. Chika is here now. He's one of our staff officers there. Look at him there.
Leave him alone.
No, I know why I'm saying so. They are all going to the aircraft. I was the one that told Diya, I said, sir, you will not go. Because those boys are Major Mustafa's boys. And I don't know what was going on.
Okay, not to waste time. Now, what advice did you give to the CJS after the bomb blast?
Look, there are some of his personal friends. Like when I evacuated him from the airport, and I took him away, and I handed him over to the boys.
You took him away to where?
No, look, I told the boy, I gave them instruction where to take him to. The man refused and said he should take him back to the house. I thank God that nothing even happened to him. Now I went to the Gagwalada hospital to make sure that I secured the other boy that was alive.
Now.
And wait, you ask a question now?
Yes, I'm all right with your answer. I'm all right with your answer.
You are ready?
I'm all right with your answer.
You are right.
Got what I want. Now, okay, go on. Go on. Go on.
You see, when we go back, you see, when we go back to the house, right from Gwagwalada Hospital, yes. I called the house, and the boy said, Oga refused to follow them to where I directed them. That rather, he went to the house. So I said, I will be there now. So when I got to the house, I met him in one of the guest chalets. Two of his civilian friends were already talking with him, advising him that, you can get out now, because if that thing is from the other side, we don't know what will happen. That's from the CNC side. Okay. That was the way they put it.
From General Abacha.
Oh.
Be clear.
Uh-huh. So he said, if it's from that place, as you have said, it's better you leave now. And when Oga came to, I met them saying that thing. And Oga told them, said, look, don't worry. We will soon see to the end of this thing. I knew why he was saying so, because I know the plan that was on the ground. I knew that any moment from then, because, you see, I know that General Bameyi and others were working on a plan. And I know he will be the head of state. Definitely, if he becomes the head of state, he can go deep into the matter. That's what he told his friends.
Okay. Now, you advised General Oladipo Diya to go to his private guest house on that day.
No. What did you say?
Private guest house.
When?
On 13th.
I asked him to go there.
Yes, you advised him.
He told you that I asked him to go to...
Answer my question.
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Now, I put it to you that in the evening of 13th December 1997, General Diya was in his private guest house, where you, and that private guest house was not known to government officials. Okay. And you brought Generals Bamayi,
yes.
Adisa,
yes.
Magashi,
yes.
Lieutenant Colonel Garba,
yes.
and Lieutenant Colonel Riba,
yes.
to visit him.
Not 13th, 14th.
Pardon?
14th.
Thank you for the correction.
On Sunday.
Okay.
Let me tell you what happened.
Tell me.
When I got back to Diya's house, General Diya's house, he asked me, he said, have you seen Adisa? I said, but I'm just coming from these other problems. He said, go there now, tell him to get Ishaya by all means. That's General Bameyi. And when I got to General Adisa's house, I met General Bameyi and all these people he has mentioned. I met all of them in General Adisa's house. So I said, sir, then General Bameyi said, Fadipe, you people are not going again? I said, sir, there's a new development. He said, what happened? And I narrated the bomb blast issue. So he now said, what message did Oga send again? I said, well, he just said I should get in touch with General Adisa to get in touch with you that he does not want 13th again. He said, okay, tell him we'll see him tomorrow at the usual place. General Bameyi is here. And I went back to the house.
Okay.
And I went back. And I went back to General Diya.
Please silence.
To let him know that I have passed the instruction and that General Bameyi and others said they will be seeing you tomorrow so that they can conclude on what next line of action to take. And on the 14th, I was even in the church. I had a meeting. I had to rush down that night on the 7th, by 7 o'clock. And that's what they have been calling the final coordinating conference. And that's where almost every one of us were present.
Now, let me ask you, do you know Major Alkali?
Major?
Alkali.
I know him.
Now, can you explain the role he played during that period?
Well, since or anything again. Now, if you know Major Alkali was MA or ADC to General Larewaju. Ever before I knew about the plot, his boss has been sending him to General Diya. You understand? I've been seeing him in the house. He has been bringing messages ever before I knew about that plot.
Do you know the type of messages?
How will I know?
Okay.
So, for me now to say, well, this is the role Alikali played, I don't know. All I know is that he has been coming to General Diya from General Leraju.
Okay, you also know Warrant Officer Koka.
He's my boy.
And Corporals Kotangura.
They are all my boys.
And Eddie Egbuno.
My boys.
Now, on the night of 28th December, 1997, you sent them to General Bamayi's house.
I've never denied that. I did.
Now, you sent them there to do what? With arms?
Look.
What, did they go there armed?
They went there with their normal pistol. Is normal with any BG, except even when he's asleep. So they were with their pistols, and I know why I was sending them.
Why?
To carry out the arrest of Major Mustafa. And if I might expatiate, on that 14th, when we said we had final coordinating conference, are you listening to me, sir? Yes. On that 14th, when we said we had that final coordinating conference, and the issue, even before then, they were saying bombing, killing, and the rest. The next day, I went to the office. I called General Diya. I said, sir, if you are so sure that the Chief of Army Staff and all the service chiefs and the GOCs are involved in this plot, for God's sake, why would you want to kill anybody? He said, but what is the best way to go it? I said, look, the only obstacle, and it's because we do not want any bloodshed at all, is Major Mustafa.
Okay, I put it to you, Major Fadipe.
I have not finished.
I put it to you, Major Fadipe.
I have not finished.
Okay, carry on. Carry on.
Please. Now, I told, then he now asked me, I said, it's Major Mustafa. I said, are you going to go about it? I said, leave Major Mustafa to me. I will carry out his arrest, because what will it benefit me if he dies? Or what will it benefit everybody if General Abacha dies? That's what I told General Diya. Okay. And wait, sir. He was supposed to brief, because General Bameyi was the main planner of this coup.
Please.
Now.
Order, please. Order, please. Please, order. Silence. Please, silence.
I know definitely that.
Please, silence. Silence, please.
I know that definitely that my advice, General Diya wouldn't do anything with it except he tells it to General Bameyi. General Bameyi agreed. But unfortunately, on that day, because he knew what he was planning now, he now told General Diya, I said, look, I don't have any boys with me. Can you send your boys to carry out the arrest of Major Mustafa? Now, General Diya called me. And I asked him, I said, sir, why will the Chief of Army Staff tell you that he does not have boys with him? He said, look, Fadipe, I have told you, do everything, this thing must not fail. Send your boys there. And I called, because in fairness of those boys, and it was on their own strength, that the day I knew that this thing, the chiefs were down, I elected to say the truth, to get those boys out. Because right from the time they started working with me, they have been loyal. Okay. I called these boys. Yes, all these Koka, Egbunu, Ibrahim, Kotango, and the rest, I called them. They have been so loyal to General Diya and to myself. And I called them. I said, look, boys, you know there was a bomb blast because I had to lie to carry out my own part of the assignment. And I said, look, you know there was a bomb blast, and we all know that that is from the other side. Abi, now the service chiefs have agreed to arrest Major Mustafa. We want fact from him. You will go to the Chief of Army Staff now, and he will give you instruction what to do. Just arrest Major Mustafa and keep him. I will tell you later. And that was why, and the boys agreed. The only soul out of all of them that knew about the plot was Coca, because he was my closest person. And so when this thing happened now, I do not need to now chicken out, so that those boys now, without knowing what was going on, I will say, I don't know anything about this plot. Then even if you have been killed now, the boys will die with me, and their blood will now be on my own children. I say, never. I was ready to own up.
Now,
I'm coming. This is not, because the way you are taking it is not the issue of maybe antagonistic, because that was the language you used on the television when I had you. When you are in Jos, I called General Diya. I said, sir, the chiefs are down now. For God's sake, in the entire office, we were the only two that know about this thing. Only yourself and myself. For God's sake, other boys are languishing in this wahala. Let's own up. Go out there. That was what I told. I said, sir, go out there. Tell them that you did this thing. Let all these ones go. And General Diya told me, he said, look, if you have elected to die, you can go and tell them. He cannot admit that he planned coup.
My Lord, I suppose I should be able to guide a witness. Now, Major Fadipe.
What do you mean by guiding a witness? Ask him questions, he will answer.
You
don't need to guide him. No.
He's just talking generally. I don't want to interrupt.
Look, this is not
now,
adversary proceeding.
Major Fadipe.
Yes, my lord.
What was your evidence of these boys before the SMT? You told the Special Investigation Panel that you sent them to collect gifts. I'm going to make a request for the production of your evidence before the SMT. Now, the second thing, because I want you to answer them together, how do you expect, with your experience, that warrant officer, one warrant officer and two corporals will be able to arrest a chief of army staff?
There were 7. No, not chief of army staff, mind you.
Or Mustafa?
Look.
How possible?
Look, my lord. They were just to be there to assist chief of army staff in affecting the arrest of Major Mustafa, and there were 7. Okay. 7 of them.
All right. Before the SMT, you said you sent those boys to collect gifts from...
I have said this 10 times to that number, that I have to stick out my neck to save...
What did you say there?
What?
Before the SMT?
I'm not going to lie. I told the SMT, and I told somebody, I said that was the only lie I lied throughout. I lied to them so that those boys can be saved.
So you...
And the boys today, they are alive, and they can come out and testify that this was the instruction I gave them.
You lied for yourself.
But because if I do not say so, I will have jeopardized the life of those boys.
Thank you. Now, you also know the trial was conducted. It is in the power of God. Don't tell us theories. It's in the power of God. Listen. It's in God's power to save.
Yes, and it was God that saved me.
You don't need to lie to help God.
I say it's God that saved me.
Listen.
Not the lies, not anything.
Listen. You are changing your evidence. Now, listen. You agree with me. Let me just...
That what?
My Lord, let me just say this in reaction. You don't need to lie to help God to save a life.
But,
hold on, let me speak. Just be quiet. You have your time to respond. You don't need to lie as a born-again Christian. If you say you are born again.
Yes, by the grace of God.
If your own born again is to tell some little lies, you will end up in perdition. Go and read your Bible.
God has forgiven me that.
So that is that. You keep... Now, I put it to you that for whatever reason, you should, if you say you are a noble person and you are a man of integrity,
yes,
you should really own up to truth. All this evidence you are giving against General, how do you want us to know now that you didn't lie against him?
Look,
since you could lie,
I am coming.
And you are saying openly, even on Bible, that you told lie.
Look.
Only one lie.
Wait.
One single dot.
Let me respond. I told you something. I said I was the one that sent those boys. I was the one that sent those boys. They never knew what they were going to do, that we are carrying out a coup. For God's sake.
Okay.
They never knew we were carrying out a coup. And if I must obey my boss, I must find a way. The way and manner I achieve my assignment is entirely my business. And when this thing has been like this, I have to look for every way to save those boys. And I never deny that I did not take part in the coup.
Just hold on. I just want you to have to confirm what I'm saying.
Yes.
I am really surprised that you could tell the whole world that you told lies to save people. And yes, hello, I want to put it to you. Listen, the Bible is not for fun. The Bible you are holding is not for fun.
Now, but you want me to talk?
No, hold on.
If you said, if you are talking about the Bible, if I commit a sin,
no, don't
I should be able to confess.
We have a priest. Hello.
That is exactly what I have done. That because you asked a question, you said I lied to the SMT that those boys were going there to collect gift, and I say yes, because I have to convince them to go to where I've sent them.
Okay. Now let's leave the issue of your lies. Now let's go to the next question. You were detained.
Go on. When he finishes, then two of you will confess.
My Lord, I know Father Kuka is up to the task. Now, you were detained as a result of the coup.
Yes, my Lord.
Were you beaten?
Except from the very first day
you were not beaten.
I was beaten.
By who?
By the boys.
Who?
The only one I know there is Nora, and just a private.
Now he beat you. Why did he beat you?
Because look, if you know about coup, this is not the first time coup is happening in Nigeria.
Okay.
But unfortunately, this is the first one I was involved, directly or indirectly.
Now, you were detained at Gadonasco Barracks.
Yes.
Now, during your detention there,
yes,
were you invited by Mustafa at any time?
I was invited twice.
On 2 occasions?
On 2 occasions.
Between 1 to 2 a.m. in the night?
No. In
when?
The broad daylight. The first time was 1 p.m. The other one was about 3 p.m. Look at the person that came to carry me to him there.
No,
look at him sitting down.
No, I don't need to see him. Because you can tell lies. I can't believe you. I must confess to you.
Look, I am not saying you should believe me.
Now, hold on.
I'm just...
No. Cancel.
Once they believe me, that's all right.
Sorry.
All right.
And God believes me, that's all right.
Hold on. Hold it. Now, it's not for you to believe or disbelieve the witness.
Yes.
It's for us here.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Now, what did Mustafa invite you for? What purpose? Mustafa called you for briefing or for what?
Interrogation, of course.
Pardon?
Interrogation.
You said what?
Interrogation.
Okay. Interrogation.
Yes.
He was the only one who interrogated you?
You said something. You said, did he...
Was he the only one? It's another question.
As at the time he called me, he was the only one.
Now, what did you discuss?
He just asked me about what I knew about the coup.
And you told him?
Everything.
Now, you said you were beaten only once.
And it was the same Mustafa that said you should stop beating me. If you want to hear that again.
Now, can that be said of the other people arrested?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that the day around 1 a.m., because I think I was it was one engineer, Banjo, that was first arrested. And that's why I said, look, the issue of lie or no lie, it is only God. And that's why I'm so sorry. And Nigerians should continue to pray harder for this nation. Because if somebody wants to use your age, your influence, your rank on a subordinate, then God will have a way of punishing that fellow. I mentioned Banjo now. If we had died, that man would have died today not knowing why he died. That man was the first person to be arrested. Then I was arrested. Then by 1 a.m., I was taken from the cell to the villa. As at that time, they had arrested almost everything that has connection with Diya. And they were just beating people here and there on the open lawn there.
Okay. Thank you. Now, you said on the 14th of December,
yes,
1997, the officers I named
earlier
on came to General Oladipo Diya's private guest house.
That was not the first time we have been going there.
Okay.
We have all been going there.
You recall the day of the arrest?
My arrest?
No, the arrest of General Diya. General Oladipo.
I told you something. I said I was the first to be arrested.
Yes.
And the second to be arrested. So I don't know how General Diya's arrest was carried out. But later, the chief...
In that meeting, I mean the meeting there.
Nobody was arrested that day.
Okay.
On the 14th, we were arrested on the 20th, mind you.
Now, will you recall an incident in 1996 when a lady came to the office of CGS and came with an activated tape?
You see, with all apology, I think yourself and General Diya are not being fair.
To who?
To these people. Look, you are not being fair to this woman you want to mention now. You are not being fair to her.
My lord.
You know why I said, I will talk.
My lord.
No.
Look,
I will talk. But I want you to realize it.
My lord.
Wouldn't you like to know why he said you're not being fair?
Yes. Let me say. My lord, with due respect, my lord, I think it is not for the witness. My lord, with due respect, I am standing here as a counsel. I do not expect a witness to come here. I am not a soldier. I've never been in the army to accuse me of unfairness.
Yes.
No. My lord, the witness should be told. The witness should be told clearly.
Okay, I withdraw that.
If you are talking to any other
I
person
withdraw
in the
it.
military.
Okay. Or General Diya is not being fair to that lady. If you want me to tell you about it now.
Suppose he has a reason to say. That's what you. No. If even this man was not as much as he knew what it was. Suppose he says he knows.
But he has withdrawn it anyway. Yes. Yes. Go on.
Now.
Let us hear. Yes.
Okay. In that 96, really, there was a lady that was sent to General Diya.
By who?
No, stop that.
By one George Taylor, Mr. Rotimi George Taylor. Now, there had been a kind of power play in the house, even in the CGS house. Because as at that time, there was one, that's why it might look trivial for the whole nation, but I mean, it's the genesis of this whole stinking episode that I want to relate now. Look, there was one Major Banjo. When as a captain, he was ADC to General Diya when he was in the War College. Major Banjo was going on course. He wanted to come back and still retain that position. He asked one Captain Otiki to stand in for him. But fortunately or unfortunately, before he came back, General Diya had been appointed Chief of Defense Staff. And all the postings were now new. Even Otiki was now posted in as substantive ADC to General Diya. And that was the same time my own posting came as security officer to General Diya. But when Banjo came, he felt he should go back to that office. And because Banjo is 29 course, I was 30, we have been so close, we've been doing things in common, he expected me now to have joined forces with him to remove Otiki. And I said, look, this is just a personal issue. You are working for somebody. If the man feels you should come back to him, you will come back. If he wants the other man stays. So what is my own? So he never took it lightly with me. And that has been the problems within us. Now, when Oga was, General Diya was now made Chief of Defense, Chief of General Staff, we were moved to Abuja. This same Otiki now wanted to go on course, the same course Banjo went. And as at that time, they wanted me to combine the two. I said, look, even as security officer, I cannot even cope. You want me to be the ADC, you want me to be the security officer. So they now asked Banjo from the liaison office to come in and act as the ADC. So, because Banjo had a lot of bitterness towards me, there was a lot of rancor between the two of us. And he wanted to use the fact that he was a relative of General Diya. I was not a relative. But look, if I've worked for somebody for 3 solid years, and that man has not seen anything wrong with me, will you now come today and say, this officer is bad? So that has been the problem. Now, when Banjo came, I told him, I said, look, this, you know, Oga that we are working with very well. He does not even want us to go to people and search for assistance. We all know it very well. And we tried as much as possible to live within that means. What Diya gives us is what we take. Now, not knowing that Banjo has been meddling with a lot of people, even some 419 people, that they wanted to get access to General Abacha by all means. As this ones were going on, he has implicated himself in a lot of things, saying that the way General Abacha was treating his boss was not good, and they are ready to remove the man. Even he has connection here and there. They have put this man on tape severally in Abuja and in Lagos. Now, those ones now were happy that, yes, we can now hit and penetrate to CNC. And by the time we get this thing across, then we'll be relevant. They now took it to the ADC and the chief, the chief press secretary, that's Chief Atta. It was through Chief Atta that Chief Rotimi Taylor came into the villa. I don't know what happened. They got this woman to now come to General Diya. Why? To now find out if Banjo has been speaking the mind of General Diya. And he has given them the impression that he was all in General Diya's house. He can book appointments, he can prevent people from coming in. He portrayed himself in the light that he was never. Unfortunately for him, the day this woman came, my boys intercepted the cassette. Then the woman was afraid. She now took the cassette back into the car. So when he now got to Oga, because they had already briefed her that, don't worry, once you get there, nobody will stop you. And since my own boys have already seen the cassette, and he now lied to the boys that he was a journalist, definitely there is fire on the mountain. And the woman knew that he had another affair with Oga, not interview business. So when he got to Oga, he had to own and say, look, sir, just save me. They forced me to do it. They thought I would, in fact, Oga just overlooked it. You understand? But that cassette, Oga said he should bring it. Immediately, Oga sent for me from the house. He gave me the cassette. In fact, Oga wanted to overlook that thing. But when I played it, I now heard Rotimi's voice telling her how to operate this device. Now I told Oga, say, sir, it is more than what you think.
Now, do you know that cassette was handed over to AVM Idi Musa for investigation?
I am still coming.
Please, don't waste time, please.
I'm not. So, as I was saying, when we discovered this, I now asked Oga, I said, look, this woman would still have to work for us too. I said, tell the woman if she does not work for us, we are going to arrest her. And the woman agreed. And I now briefed the woman what to do to that tailor. And then the woman did a perfect job, and he wrote me George Taylor on cassette. And I was the one that arrested Rotimi Taylor. Then the issue of who will now investigate that matter. Oga did not want General Sabo to handle that case. I said, look, I have implicit confidence in Colonel Olu. Because as at that time, as at the time I was posted, Colonel Olu was the overall commander in the security group. So, by implication, he's the commander of all security officers in the country. So I said, I know Colonel Olu can handle that matter very well. And I called Colonel Olu, handed it over to him. But since Colonel Olu was working under AVM Musa, Oga now called AVM Idi Musa to brief him that he should allow Olu to carry out that investigation. Then it was then this boy, Rotimi, said, look, before I say anything, I want Major B.M. Muhammad and I want Major Banjo. So what brought about the two of them? That was the time we now discovered that a lot had happened. So they now carried out the investigation. But in all honesty, it was when he got to the table of, I think, the ADC to the ADC and the CSO, that everybody was saying, no, the two of them knew about it, that they said we should stop the prosecution of that case. And General Bame, he wanted to court-martial Major Banjo. But because Colonel Shoda, the MA then, had to stand in with Oga that, Oga, look, another colonel has gone to jail for your sake. This one to want to go to jail. You have to prevent, you have to force General Bame not to jail this other boy. But this time around, nobody had that confidence to either release Banjo or not. So Banjo was left in detention until we too entered into problem, and Banjo left even before we came out. So that is it.
So you haven't told us the findings of AVM Musa.
I have told you that even Oga himself, AVM Idi Musa, came to Oga and said, sir, let's discontinue this matter. I think it was a matter of 419, because as at that time, they now said the case was on Major Mustafa's table and ADC, because the two of them are now saying Major Mustafa knew about it, ADC to since he knew about it. You understand now? But Major Mustafa said he does not know about it. ADC to since he said he does not know about it. And that was why AVM Idi Musa himself met General Diya and said, sir, let's discontinue this investigation because we have gotten to a stalemate. And one of them said, because he said they have not handled the job professionally. So that was it.
Now, before the SMT,
yes, my lord.
You pleaded guilty.
Yes.
It appears you will be the first coup suspect to plead guilty.
You know, let me tell you one thing.
Before an SMT.
Let me tell you one thing. I openly confessed that I knew about the plot, and I've told you why I did it. God is my witness. He will continue to be my witness. No forces in this world can jeopardize my testimony of God in my life. Nobody. Now, I have confessed that I knew about this plot, and General Diya knew what I discussed with him concerning that plot. But look, these boys are innocent. They never benefited anything. They work for you day and night. They are in problem now. Can't we do something to save them? He said no. I elected to own up so that whatever I say about those boys can be taken in good faith. And I thank God Almighty today because all what I said concerning those boys, the SIP, the SMT, they listened, and those boys were set free. The day they were set free, I slept soundly myself that day.
Major Banjo.
Major Fadipe.
Oh, Fadipe, I'm sorry. I put it to you. I put it to you that you pleaded guilty rather abnormally. So that, hold on, be patient. You should be a patient person. You are a Christian, Abi.
I'm patient. I'm patient.
Be patient.
I'm patient.
It's one of the ingredients of the food of the spirit. Now, good. Now, I put it to you that you pleaded guilty rather abnormally in order to quickly rope in General Diya and secure his conviction, and so that thereafter you could also obtain some reprieve from the head of state through your godfather, Major Mustafa. Is that not the position?
You are wrong. The General Diya tells you what is. I just wish the nation, maybe the head of state or the chairman of this panel, can just say, look, the proceeding of this court, of this SIP and SMT in George should be aired to Nigerians without editing from the beginning to the end. You will see that you should have said this to General Diya, because General Diya said in his testimony, is there in his own handwriting, that
you read it.
It was read to us, because he too never knew that it would be read to us in the courtroom during prosecution.
What did he say?
He said it was Major Fadipe and General Adisa that were planning this coup in General Adisa's house, that I was only coming to brief him, for God's sake. For God's sake. It's there in black and white. And
Lord,
that day,
my Lord, with due respect, sir, I will humbly wish that we get the proceedings of the SMT.
Yes.
And confirm this information. It is very important.
It is there.
Much obliged.
So that day, and I looked at myself, because you know why I cried that day? Before we started our defense, he said, look, heap everything on Bameyi. I said, look, sir, there is no harm in that. But if I heap everything on Bameyi, do I work for Bameyi? If you are now admit that it was Bameyi that was sending me all these things, it's now that it is myself and Bameyi that wanted to remove Diya and Abacha from power, which was not correct. You were the one that I was working with that asked me, that was sending me to Bameyi. This thing, they said maybe they have started since August and the rest, only God knows when. But now, I got to know about it on the 9th of December.
Okay. Now, I also put it to you that the role you played is similar to College Shuaibus. You know College Shuaibus?
So why was he made administrator and I was left in jail? Look, my counsel,
Maybe
my lord.
if General
my lord,
Abacha had not died.
My lord, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
God is seeing everything. He's the omnipotent, omniscient.
Stop calling God. Tell us the facts. God.
Look, if you
Are
say
you a minister?
If you say I am a minister of God, I am a minister of God, I'm a minister of the world. And if you say don't call God, don't allow God to vent his wrath on you. Because I'm the apple of God's eye. Look, let me tell you something. If you said I'm part of that plan, do you know that my wife was being sought after for 6 months? My own wife was in hiding. My children were scattered all over the place. My brother was picked up in Port Harcourt and was detained for 5 months. The boss of my wife, Mr. Bodage, was picked up and detained for 2 weeks. Would they do that to someone that is playing along with them?
Okay.
For God's sake, you people should be godly.
Now, you have to, when I say you are calling God, I want to hold on.
General Diya can testify to it. I have been calling that God in his office, and I'm still calling the God now. Look at Chika is sitting down here now. As at that time, they all saw me as their.
I want
Let me say something. Look at him here now. Chika Omudiewu. Look at him sitting down. He was the chief press secretary to Diya. He was looking at me as at that time as somebody that would save his life. He turned around now and said, I am a spy. I had the good intention of instituting legal action against him and General Diya.
Okay.
They said I collected 10 million naira. Look at him sitting down here now. God will judge. God Almighty will judge.
Now,
you know it. God will judge.
My Lord,
know it. God will judge the two
I
of
think
us.
the witness should be called to order. My Lord, I think the witness should be called to order.
No, he doesn't know what.
The witness, my Lord. My Lord,
yes.
I am respectfully asking that the witness should be called to order. The witness cannot be addressing somebody in the crowd to intimidate somebody sitting here.
Nobody hears you.
My Lord, yes. I believe the witness should be called to order. This is not a gymnastic center. He is here to tell the truth with all calmness and gratitude and gravity too, not to attack somebody sitting right here. If he has a case, he can go to court. He said he will go to court.
Are you briefed to defend that somebody?
My Lord,
are you briefed to
with
defend
due respect,
him?
I have a responsibility to ensure that there is order.
This is not a normal court.
Yes, my Lord.
We admit relevant, irrelevant, we listen to them.
I agree, my Lord.
Then what normally will not be admitted in court, we admit. So
now,
take it coolly.
Major Fadipe.
Yes, my Lord.
After you have been set free,
yes,
you went to General Diya.
How many more hours?
Pardon me.
How many more hours?
This is about the last two questions, my Lord. I'm writing up with him.
This is the last question.
About the last two questions. Now, you went to, let me put it as one, for him to reply. Now, you went to General Diya and sought his help to set you up in business. You asked for a total sum of 2 million naira from him after you have been released, and he offered you the post of general manager of a plastics company, and he said he didn't have that money. Now, he gave you a check of 250,000 naira, which you returned back to him. And it was on the strength of that you became bitter. And not only that, General Malu appeared before the Lagos session and poured encomiums on you and said, that he will look for ways by which he will be reintegrated into the army. Is that true?
Now, I want to answer you.
Hold it. When you ask 5 questions, what do you want you to answer?
I will answer also.
So the first, all right.
Now, if
one by one.
Oh, you said I went to General Diya. We were released on a Thursday. I got to Ibadan on a Saturday from Mina prison. And after the first Thanksgiving service in my church, CAC Olugbo Ibadan, right? People now say, look, it is customary as a Yoruba man. Go to your Oga and say hello to him. Then on the following Thursday, my wife and myself went to Lagos, at least to greet Oga. We greeted him, and that was all. I never saw him again. This was in March, until maybe April ending or May. I can't recollect those days now. And this is what happened. General Diya was the one that sent for me. And the request is this: come and help me to manage my business in Odogbolu. You are shaking your head, you don't know anything.
My Lord.
No!
I will not take this.
Just listen to what I'm saying.
My Lord, I will not take this. He should withdraw that statement. My Lord, I will not accept that. That I don't know anything. I will not accept that.
What do I say, my Lord? He said he doesn't accept. I don't know what.
My Lord, it's an attitude that is totally unacceptable.
Sorry, what?
Actually, sir, it was not the one I was referring to.
That.
I was referring to this other man.
I will not accept that.
I was not referring to you. Because
I will not accept that.
You were not shaking your head. So I was not referring to you. I was referring to Barrister.
You speak to the commission, not to people here.
Well,
you address the commission.
You see, you cannot intimidate me. You cannot intimidate me.
Understand?
I am telling you what transpired, and people are alive today. If you want to help somebody, even before the help came, I've heard from all over the place. Even CNS Church. I'm answering the question. Even CNS Church, people are alive today. People are hearing me all over the place now, if I will lie. They said, don't mind Fadipe. He said, Oga has not done anything for him. But Oga is looking for him all over the place now. He wants to help him. He said to come and tell the kind of car he wants to ride to go and manage his business for him. So when my friend came to me, I said, Oga asking me. He said, no, somebody's in their church. Maybe it's his girlfriend or something. He said, in fact, it was the one that brought the car that I will use as the MD of that place. So Dele Obakoya got in touch with me finally. He said, Oga has been looking for you. And since I don't have anything against him, I called the house. Because I just came back from London. He said, where have you been? I said, sir, I've been all over the place trying to survive. He said, okay, let's see. And I went to his place. He said, what are you doing now? I said, sir, for now, I don't do anything. But I am planning to set up a security outfit. He said, but I have an option for you. He said, come and manage my business for me in Odogbolu. I said, sir, I cannot just accept that now. I would think about it and discuss it with my wife. You see, from my own heart of heart, I know I will not accept it. So I left. I told my wife. My son said, well, I'm not saying you should not accept it, but if you go there, I said, it's not compulsory I go with you. I will stay in Lagos. You can go there. That was what my wife said. And I said, look, I don't have the intention of accepting. So I went back to him the third day. I said, sir, I have prayed about this thing. Because I discussed with one of my my father in the Lord. We prayed about it. And he said, look, there's nothing wrong about this thing. But there's going to be problem. That was it. He said, there's going to be problem. And I went back to Oga. I said, sir, there's going to be problem if I take up this job. Whatever you have, you can assist me. I have told you what I wanted to do. I wanted to set up a security outfit. And I took the proposal to him. The proposal was 4 million naira. I said, sir, if you can help me, go ahead and help. He said, okay, come back tomorrow, and I'll see what I can do. And as at that time, I told the man that, look, I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I am squatting with somebody. And I know you can help me. There's nothing wrong. You are my boss. So he said I should come back and see him. To my surprise, I got back the next day, and the man left a check of 200,000 naira, and for me to sign for it. And I told the person, I said, look, I'm sure there must be a mistake somewhere. I came to this man with a proposal of 4 million naira. And I don't have a house, I don't have anything. Eh? And he's giving me 200,000 naira. To do what, and to sign for it. To do what with?
You want to sign for it?
I am, yes, and I said, look, tell Oga I don't need it. And the man was afraid. I said, are you afraid to tell the man? I said, you keep the check. When Oga comes back, I will tell him that, sir, if he does not have the money, he can keep it. Actually, I did not come for him for help. He invited me. God is my witness. Now, when I met Oga, Oga said, you are bitter. I said, sir, not that I was bitter, but I felt that you cannot help. You cannot help. And the man was saying all sorts of things, how people, I said, what? That is. Then he put some, he said, well, we did not do contract together, so that I have come for my own share. I said, sir, I have not come for my own share. I said, since you cannot help me, you can keep the 200,000. The Lord will provide at the appropriate time. And I left. Now, let me put a question to you if you don't mind. You are now talking about being bitter now. God being between us. All my witness, my testimony in this Oputa panel, is it different from what I said during the tribunal? That's why I said, my Lord, ask for the cassette and the proceeding. I have never added or removed as far as General Oladipo Diya is concerned. And I will say it again. I have nothing personal against General Oladipo Diya. I pray for him. I don't want you to believe that. I don't have anything personal against him. Because I overheard you in the television, said I have become antagonistic. There is no basis for that. I am coming, sir. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes, just a conclusion. Arising from. Now, sorry. Your old boss gave you a check of 200,000.
Yes.
You are a Christian.
Yes.
I can see you have called God almost 100 times.
I will call him
now. It is good.
Yes.
Now, as a Christian,
yes,
somebody gave you 200,000.
Yes.
But because, well, it's 250, he said. Or you said
200,000 naira.
Just hold on. Now, whatever amount, 200,000. You rejected it.
Yes.
Because he didn't give you 4 million naira.
Look,
what was the basis of rejecting the money? What was your basis for rejecting the money? Why did you reject the money?
My basis for...
Why did you reject the money? Is General Diya a bank?
Look, except
company?
want to deceive ourselves. Except want to deceive ourselves. Why did he want to help me? And if I said he wants to help me, what would 200,000 naira do in what I want to do? If you cannot do it, I'm not bitter about it. He can keep the money.
200,000 can feed you for some days.
Look, let me tell you one thing.
My Lord, that's all with the witness.
My Lord, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
All right.
If you say...
That's all right. Does anybody want to cross-examine him? The ball. Any other cross-examination? Do you want to cross-examine? No questions?
May I please, my Lord?
No questions. What about doctor? Do you want to cross-examine?
I just want to say...
No, yours is no questions.
Just to congratulate
right.
you, my Lord. You've done wonderfully well.
Any other cross-examination? No, doctor wants to.
Major Fadipe.
Yes, my Lord.
Just maybe one or two questions.
Yes, sir.
From your recollection,
yes, sir.
How many times did Major General Megashi attend the meetings with Oladipo Diya?
I think in all the meetings, I think it was only once that I did not attend.
He only did not attend
Once. And
Which
why?
one?
He missed the guest house. Oga told him a guest house, so he went to a different one. So that was why he did not attend.
Okay, so you are aware that actually whatever meetings he had attended,
Yes.
he had attended on the invitation of Oga himself?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Major Fadipe.
My lord, sir.
Before I have just maybe 2 questions for you. But before I say so, I would like to tell you that the young lions do lack and suffer hunger.
Yes.
But they that trust in the Lord shall not want any good thing.
He has been good to me.
You will not want any good thing in your life.
Amen.
Anywhere your feet trod, you shall possess.
Amen.
It is also true to say that you wouldn't be in a position to say when and what actually transpired between General Diya and Bamayi at the very inception of the coup, because you were much, much later co-opted into it.
I've said it times to that.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I will therefore be correct to say that having the benefit of hindsight, that is that General Bamayi was asked to play along.
Well, I don't know that.
No. Now that it has come up in evidence, you don't know. Assuming it to be correct, will you say from your observation that General Bamayi performed his role very well?
Let me be frank with you. That is why I said, Major Mustafa is that the day he called me for interrogation, I told him point blank, say, sir, you are after the wrong set of people. I told him. I said, if you are charging us for concealment, it will be better. All the truths were supplied by General Bamayi. Right? Yes. I am coming. And when he started asking certain questions, I knew he was blank about a lot of things. That is to show that whenever General Bamayi and General Diya discuss together then, maybe he will be so economical with the truth when he gets to Mustafa. Because I want to believe that as General Bamayi, maybe he was interested in that #1 position. He was still working for General Diya too. So he was now looking at a possibility that now I have been given permission now. I'm coming. I've been given permission to play along. Let me now use this opportunity now to outstage the two of them. Yeah. So that was what he was now doing.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. But I am simply saying that you wouldn't be in a position to say with all precision, like you recounted those parts that you also participated in. Simple.
It is based on that strength that he was not actually, I want to believe that if you, according to the question you are asking me now, he was not playing along. Oh. He was playing along as far as Diya is concerned. But he was now perfecting his own.
Okay. All right. That is your belief.
That is my belief.
Thank you very much.
Yes. You have a question?
My Lord will remember that I'm appearing for Idi Musa too, and I have not cross-examined. Yes, my Lord. For
you
Idi
want
Musa,
to ask a question?
Yes, for Idi Musa.
Go on now.
Major Fadipe.
My Lord.
Between you and your God, tell this commission whether the role played by Air Vice Marshal Idi Musa is synonymous with those plotting to overthrow Abacha in this coup.
Are you talking of the 97 coup?
97.
Honestly speaking, throughout that 9 days to I think that's about 11 days that I was aware of this coup, I never for one day saw Idi Musa, and General Diya never one day mentioned his name.
Thank you very much.
I have said this thing in the tribunal.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the last question, just to put the record straight, because we're after reconciliation. Between you and your God, you are convinced there was a coup, full-blown coup.
Oh, see, let me tell you something. Assuming it was not governance, assuming it was war, I was a company commander, and there was a signal that we are going to carry out an attack somewhere. You understand?
Yes.
And my divisional commander, maybe I'm supposed to lead a raid. You know, a raid is maybe by company.
I'm very conversant with that. Go
Good.
ahead.
And they now come and say, look, Fadipe, you are leading this raid to go and do this, do that. Now ask me, let me ask one question. We now ask him, sir, is this thing true or not?
No.
I have to carry out that assignment. It is only when maybe I started the operation or I concluded and I discovered that, oh, I have been misled.
Thank you.
So that is the way I want to put it.
Okay.
So whether it was phantom, whether it was anything, I don't want to know. I was given an assignment and I carried it out.
Okay. After Professor Odekule testified in this commission yesterday, and he was of the view that General Malu was very, very fair. On Friday, sorry. And he was of the view that General Malu was very, very fair in the conduct of the trial of your onset of coup suspect. Can he be said to be correct?
Now, if I say yes, they will say it's because they are poor and coming on me.
Okay.
But I think, to the best of my own ability, it was fair. You know why I said so? When I pleaded guilty, the man said, everybody pulled me down. The man said, look, Fadipe, sit down. It's like he does not know the implication of this thing. He said, Judge Advocate, tell him, and if I'm not mistaken, they took about 30 minutes trying to convince me. And as he stood up, I said, I am guilty. So he gave me that benefit of the doubt. So, right. I mean, he was the one that made them to bring General Bameyi and others. Because they wouldn't have come to testify. He insisted that they must come over, and General Diya was supposed to even cross-examine him, which he chickened out later.
Okay. On the last note, to put the record straight, I will be correct to say that, just to put the record straight, that General Abacha was the first serving head of state to save the life of coup plotters that have been proven to have conned the act.
Well, if the man did not kill me before he died, then I would have to say, yes, he spared my life.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take for today. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think about Major Fadipe's testimony. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you in the next video.